I didn't meet the right man until I was 35. If Doug had come into my life at 22 and I rejected him, and then we went and married different people and refound each other at 35, that would be...
Yeah, she got a provider guy for the second half of life. She was getting dug out by commentators, I'm sure.
I mean, I think there's no problem in setting out those honest truths, which are your life will be happier if you have a partner and children. I just think that's just true. And people should be told that. And then they should be told the realities of fertility.
See, this whole conversation is so pointless. It's just conservatives trying to control the world.
Because those are realities that, can be potentially meddled with, but there's no guarantee. And if you're one of the people who cannot meddle with it and you missed your window, it will be a lifelong regret that will be unsolvable and will be like a deep source of pain, an ongoing deep source of pain. So it's not something that you could easily brush off. And so all those truths need to be shared while at the same time prizing and sharing the fullness of the rewards of motherhood with young women, which isn't done. That's the other piece of it. Like if you listen to Jordan, if you listen to Ben, if you listen to, the Daily Wire, you'll hear that. You won't hear motherhood, early motherhood, or any kind of motherhood generally bashed. You'll hear it praised. But in society still, in the movies, on the television shows that women watch, it's not. You're still...
Right, but they always blame... Do you see this programming? They're blaming society and the TV for women not wanting to be moms.
Like, you still hear she's just a stay-at-home mom, or she doesn't work. They still don't look at, motherhood as something that's... something valuable, like work, as though it's a bad word. Motherhood is work too. It's great work. It's life-fulfilling work. But it still has this and women who I know all over New York, and now I'm in Connecticut, they say things like, it's very important to me that my daughter see me going to a business meeting. Like, mommy's got a business meeting, or going to the office if they have just like some small meeting. And I'm like, why? Why? Because they don't think the daughter will think that they're important if they don't have some sort of business pressing on them, which is absurd and # part of the problem, right? Like, no, we all need to be teaching young girls and boys that motherhood is enough. Like, being a mother is a completely valid, beautiful, awesome, really important choice. I actually went to my daughter's school and I said, I think it's fine you have career night. It's an all-girls school. And you bring in doctors and lawyers and journalists and whomever. You need to bring in a stay-at-home mom. You need to have somebody stand up there and tell the girls, I made a totally different choice. And so much the better if she's got a great education. And she can say, I have all the same skills you have. And I was on the exact same path as you were. And I loved learning and being introduced to the classics and being able to sit around a dinner table with so-called intellectuals and know the references. And I chose a totally different path when I graduated from those schools, because there was one thing that was most important to me. And let me tell you how that's rewarded me. The school did not do it. Okay. So, we've got a counter program at home. So having said all that, I'll tell you my own personal experience, which doesn't really reflect that way of thinking or this recommended course at all. And yet still, I'm very, very happy. I'm a very contented person. Happy is a charged word, but I really am very happy with my life. I'm contented. I have a very, very strong marriage and extremely intact, loving.
Do you guys think she has a strong marriage? 1 in the chat, yes. 2 in the chat, no. Do you believe her? And tell me why in the chat.
Present and meaningful relationships with my 3 kids. But I also have a very large career that's been hugely successful. Not to be self-aggrandizing, but just saying, like, on the scales of career.
See, again, this is the same psychology. Media is kind of a cheat code. It's not really fair. There's a lot of money in media. It's very competitive, similar to being like a musical artist, but you tend to get like egos in media because they think they're super important because we talk into a microphone. And I don't mean to downplay it, but I mean, you guys know, you guys are doctors, lawyers. You guys do a lot of the tough jobs. You are linemen, construction workers. You guys do a lot of the hard jobs in society. So compared to you guys, we ain't shit. You know what I mean?
Careers, mine.
Also, if I'm low energy today, I'm a little bit sick. I don't know. I think it's something, I don't know. But I still wanted to do a show, so this may be a shorter one today. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Has worked out very well. So in no way did I really sacrifice much in that lane. And I realize this puts me in the 0.00001% of people, and probably even, fewer percent of women. So the way that I did it was not that unconventional for, when I grew up. I was definitely part of a generation that felt you work, you get to work, you graduate from college, go to college, but when you finish college, you work. That's the thing you do. But in my case, Jordan, from that day to this, I've always loved working. I love it. It's totally exciting and interesting and intellectually stimulating to me. And I cannot imagine not doing this. It's been really important to me. And if I looked at the 21 or 22-year-old version of me versus me now, or let's say when I had my kids, which was later, 38, 40, and 42, I guarantee you,
Wait, when did she have her kid? Wait, let me go back.
Totally exciting and interesting and intellectually stimulating to me. And I cannot imagine not doing this. It's been really important to me. And if I looked at the 21 or 22-year-old version of me versus me now, or let's say when I had my kids, which was later, 38, 40, and 42.
Holy shit. She really buzzer beater. Now I want to have an honest conversation, Megyn. If you did it, how did you do it? Did you freeze your eggs? IVF? Did you get pregnant naturally? How was it?
I guarantee you, I personally, this isn't true of everybody, but I personally wouldn't.
Do you know what? She's more exciting talking about work than her husband. I believe that the women that are always talking up their husbands, if I'm being honest, have very beta husbands generally. Like if it's always a positive word about him, I think women love their husbands more that say he's an asshole.
Not have been anywhere near as good a mother. I was much more selfish and less capable of giving. And, I was more of a taker, like most young people are. Not all, but most. And so I really think that the calm I've brought to motherhood, the life lessons, the wisdom, has been a boon to my children who are calm and cool.
Lila Rose made $271,000 in 2022 from her nonprofit Live Action and $375,000 in 2023. That's a 100K raise. By the way, Live Action was in a $478,000 deficit for 2023. Oh, I should have brought that up. We just ran out of time.
And not panickers, and have a wisdom about them that I think you kind of get through osmosis and maybe some genetics. But they're in a very good place, I think, in part thanks to the fact that it's not age related for everybody, but for me, I didn't reach that place in my life until I was older. And unfortunately, it wasn't planned this way, because I didn't meet my husband until we were 35. But unfortunately, and believe me, I think about it all the time, it means that my children and I have a shorter runway together. And I hate that fact. It haunts me. I'm so grateful that I have them at all.
Choices and trade-offs. Life's about choices and trade-offs.
Unlike so many women who weren't this fortunate. But I hate the fact that every time we talk about their lives, I'm calculating, it's his age plus 42. That's what I'll be, when my youngest has his children. And boy, my kids better have kids young if they want me to be part of that child's life at all. If I get to be a grandparent.
Do you know what's funny? My dad, he's a saint. If you didn't know, I'm from a family of 10 kids, right? So I'm one of 10. Oh, I do not feel the best today. I'm from a family of 10. And my father, he really lived out you could say the trad dream. Like a lot of these people on the internet, they'll say they live trad, but my dad actually did it. Like they got married young, had kids in their 20s. My dad's older than my mom by 5 years. Granted, we did have a nanny, but other than that, I just meant the 10 kids, whatever. I'm not saying they were trad, but it's funny because you always hear these podcasters say have kids, have more kids. And I was always told to my dad was yeah, this is going to be tiring. Enjoy not having them while you don't have them. But to be fair, he's been a dad for like 30 years. He's tired.
Parent. And it's its own special form of pain, you know? Like, would I have traded my career building and doing the things that I love?
Just say no. You wouldn't. You wouldn't trade it. You love it. Move on.
Because I was a lawyer for the first 10 years, and then I switched to journalism. I don't know if I can say that. I didn't meet the right man until I was 35. If Doug had come into my life at 22 and I rejected him, and then we went and married different people and refound each other at 35, that would be...
Yeah, she got a provider guy for the second half of life. She was getting dug out by commentators, I'm sure.
Really painful. But I don't have that regret. We didn't meet until the time I think God brought us together. And for me, that was the time. That's when I was ready. I was ready to not downshift in my career exactly, but to make compromises in my career that I hadn't been prior to that. And I was fully committed to devoting myself to motherhood in a way I never had been before. And some of it was born of the intense love that I had for my husband and still have, in which my kids were born into, this swath of like truly mad romantic love that they're products of and are immersed in every day, which is probably the best medicine for them. So I have no regrets about how I did it, but I also acknowledge it's not all roses and unicorns. There are downsides to doing it the way I did.
Shopify powers millions of businesses worldwide, supporting everyone from established...
First time in human history, young people had excess money to spend and could be, marketed at. We tend to construe, especially in popular culture.
Yeah, she doesn't regret it because she hit the buzzer beater. Would you regret it? I mean, she gets to talk for a living, make millions of dollars, and be a wife and a mother.